Hello, I'm Herb Coach, and with my wife Deb, we have visited every state in the Union, every national park in the contiguous United States, and many countries internationally. Please join us as we travel to Spain, Morocco, and Portugal. On this leg, we start in Madrid, walking through its old town. We go to a special castle in Segovia, which is believed to have inspired Walt Disney's Cinderella's Castle. Next, we observe various cultures in Toledo, stopping at Granada and finishing at Costa del Sol. Costa del Sol, the Sun Gate, is where King Charles III is honored with his statue on horseback. He is known as the best mayor of Madrid. He faces the red and white building with a bell tower he built as the main post office. He is also responsible for the underground sewer system, the Prada Museum, public schools, and much more. So this is the Plaza Mayor.
Guy and a horse.
And you know what? Seems like every plaza here has a guy on a horse. And there's our guy on the horse. Plaza Mayor means the main square. The buildings are painted burgundy, which were voted on by Madrid's city citizens. The man on the horse with his ruffled collar is Philip III from the 1600s. He is the son of Philip II, who made Madrid the capital of Spain. Philip III established Plaza Mayor as the centerpiece of Madrid when it was still growing. Bullfights, parades, religious processions, royal pageantry, and other events were held here. Today, the buildings are private apartments costing many hundreds of euros for the smallest apartments and over €1 million for the larger apartments. So here's the Mercado de San Miguel, a flea market, bar, and many other things inside. Well, let's check it out. Well, they got stuff here. Kind of seen this stuff before. Same stuff, new town. Yeah. But they keep it pretty clean.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, there are a lot of pastries here. You can really get whatever you want in here. Looks like everything is good. Oh, the brick building there is a convent. The church you see is a Hieronymite convent with a beautiful Last Supper altarpiece. Plaza de la Villa. This town square was once the ruling center of Madrid. It houses the city hall. The statue is of Don Alvarado de Barzan, who defeated the Turks in 1571. The Madrid Cathedral is massive, bigger than a football field. Its gray and white walls house this relatively new structure, which was consecrated by Pope John Paul II in 1993, 100 years after construction began. The main altar is honored with Jesus on the cross. In the background are paintings completed just before the consecration by Pope John Paul II. One can see the respectful climb the stairs for a moment to admire and pray to the Virgin Mary. The royal palace you see here was built in the 1700s. Previously in this spot, there was a Moorish castle and later a Christian fortress to keep out the Moors. This is a big palace, Europe's largest. It took its roots from the Versailles Palace in France. Spain's kings took residence here from 1764 to 1931. It was at this time that Spain became democratic. Today this building is the official royal residence, even though the royal family lives a few miles away in their family mansion. The royal palace is in use for formal occasions, royal weddings, state receptions, and tourists. Hey, our train's coming. Look at that. And it's clipping. Whoa! It is packed. Real people inside. Well populated.
And they are. All three of them.
Yeah. Hey, Deb, why don't you take that seat?
Buenos días. How are we doing? Did you sleep well? The first day is not easy. Yeah, don't worry. Couple of more days and you will be sleeping like babies. Yeah. George, bon dia. And for all this, we got here our wonderful local specialist, Gloria. Gloria, good morning. Good morning to Gloria. Buenos días. Vámonos, ándale.
So here on the right, underneath, we have tunnels with cars. So this was a fantastic project called Madrid River, Madrid Rio, consisting on building tunnels, 18 kilometers of tunnels to hide the cars. And then on top of them, 14 kilometers of gardens. Such a fantastic work. It took years. They say Madrid on those days, people said it was like a Gruyere cheese because there were holes all around the city. And people here were complaining because they never finished the tunnels and the noise was terrible.
This viaduct is 800 meters long. The aqueduct of Segovia, which is believed to have been constructed in the 1st century AD. The aqueduct reaches 93.5 feet at its highest point. It is built on 2 levels of arches with unmortared granite blocks. That's unbelievable. The top level is where the water is channeled. It runs over 10 miles from the mountains to the city and was in use until 1973. The aqueduct is revered by the city and is part of its coat of arms.
And then if you look to the left, you see the steps up there and the walls. So behind that wall, which is a highest part of the city, 3 smaller arches and the end of the aqueduct. And it's in very good condition. They were just studying every single stone. And they said that it's in very good condition. It's been protected and it's not suffering. No earthquakes here, of course. That was to transport the stones, just to place one and put on top of the other. Now, if you look at this, the big machinery with
Oh, there's the castle. And here's the view that the castle had. So we're going to Venta de Entrada Dasa Casa de la Comandante. Yeah. Wow, this moat is serious. The castle Alcazar of Segovia is such a beautiful castle. It has been in many movies and is the inspiration of the Walt Disney Cinderella's castle. So what do you think, Coach? Good moat.
You're going to visit a medieval palace. And this palace was built more than 1,000 years ago. I am talking about 11th century. And in that moment, in the 11th century, Spain didn't exist. So that's why we should think in another very, very old period. In that moment, we were divided into kingdoms. Christian kingdoms in the north, Muslim kingdoms in the south, and the frontier between them here, close to Segovia. That's why this city was a very important city. And we have a wall around the city and a castle in order to protect and control this part of the palace. Okay, so let's go. We continue. We are going to start our walk, and now you are entering in a private office, because here in this place I'm going to talk about one king, one important Spanish king who is here. You can see here his king. This king is Philip II, Felipe II, and I am now situated in the 16th century. Okay, 16th century is the last monarch living here, this one, the last one, because he, Philip II, in the 16th century decided to put to situate the court in a fixed part, in a capital, in a city, and that's why since 16th century the capital of the new kingdom, Spain, is in Madrid. Is the Mudéjar art. This style was very appreciated in the past, and the Muslim artisans, they used to work for the monarchs, for the Christian monarchs.
The painting that hangs on the wall is of the coronation of Isabella I of Castile, the Queen of Segovia. The Hall of Kings shows many kings and rulers of Castile and Leon. All the monarchs. "52 leaders kings and queens. The pine cone office, because the ceiling is covered with the pine cones. So this is a stand-up chair. There's a little bit of a stoop there that you can put your butt on, and then it can fold out to become a regular chair. So this was a very good defensive position for a castle to be. Walking along the castle defenses, what do you think, Coach? So this is where they had some cannons. Look at these babies here. These cannons are supposedly the first European cannons.
And all the castle, as you can see, is decorated with the same design. All the castle, but also you're going to see that in the city. And after that, because this is a 14th century decoration, after we can find vertical designs in the facade. Have you seen that? Have you noticed that? After you're going to see. Yeah, there are a lot of symbols and different designs. Yeah, is that?
Toledo is located on a mountaintop and surrounded on three sides by the Tigris River, which was strategic in defending itself. It was the capital of Spain for many years, and it was Spain's religious center, having one of Europe's oldest cathedrals. The Cathedral of Toledo was built between 1226 and 1493. At this time, Toledo was the capital of Spain with its castle of San Servando. For centuries, the kings of Spain lived in Toledo. It was in 1561 that King Philip II moved the capital from Toledo to Madrid. The large rectangular building is the Alcazar of Toledo. It is a large quadrangular fortification measuring 60 meters on a side, framed by four large towers 60 meters high on each corner. It was active in many conflicts, including the Spanish Civil War. The metalworking industry has historically been Toledo's economic base, with a great tradition in manufacturing of swords and knives. Between the 15th and 17th century, the Toledo sword-making industry enjoyed a great boom to the point where Toledo steel came to be regarded as the best in Europe. Swords and daggers were made by individual craftsmen.
Fire, and when it's red hot, they take it out, and then they put them first inside of oil, because oil gives them hardness, and later inside of the water, because the water gives them the flexibility. This is not tempered. When you see it is very soft, it is not flexible, not finished, right? Yep. But now, the second piece, this is already tempered. And here now it says, oh, you mean to show you? Flexible, but it is not at the same time high directions, because the base of the steel, that has to be rough. Now when the base is rough enough, then they begin to make the design what the man is doing now. Now to make all the different designs, they can use the silver thread, the gold leaf, or gold wire. When the designs are finished, with little hammers, they begin to hammer all over the piece of steel. And now, by hammering, the gold and the silver is introduced inside of those little grooves what they make before. These, for example, are pendants, okay? And what the man is doing is also a pendant. I give them to you, pass them around, and let me tell you now. Now, this handicraft is very, very old, and we call it Damaskinado or Damascene because it is from Damascus, from Syria, okay? Good. In this handicraft, the base material is a piece of soft steel. And then all decoration work, they make them in gold or in silver. The gentleman, for example, is working with gold, with silver, sorry. But normally, 80% is always in gold, okay? Good.
So here is the gift shop. And you knew there'd be a gift shop, but they got some mighty fine pieces here. Some nice swords. Some nice jewelry, some nice plates. Well, these trucks turn pretty tight.
That's why I said to watch it.
Yeah. We can see how tight the roads are, and these roads are full of traffic. I believe this is a one-way street, so we don't have to worry about anything going behind us. But you never know. The painting was finished in 1588. So this is a Hebrew letters put together into the shape of Spain. And these tiles highlight the area of the Jewish sector. The Jewish synagogue in Toledo, Spain. The Toledo, Spain synagogue was erected in the late 12th or early 13th century and is considered the oldest synagogue building in Europe still standing. The synagogue is constructed by Moorish architects for non-Islamic purposes. The plain white interior walls, as well as the use of brick and of pillars instead of columns, are characteristic of Muslim architecture. Granada is the home of the Alhambra Palace and the General Life Gardens. It is one of the most famous monuments of Islamic architecture and has areas of Spanish Renaissance. The site has a long history. Muslims began construction in 1238. Christians took over the site in 1492 and became the royal court of Ferdinand and Isabella, where Christopher Columbus received his royal backing for his expedition. At one time, it was a self-sustaining Muslim city with a water supply system, public baths, roads, houses, workshops, a full irrigation system, and even a tannery. Highlights of this complex are the Palace of Leon, the Partial Palace, the Mexor, and the Camari's Palace. Next to the Alhambra is the General Life with its orchids and landscape gardens.
70% is almost flat, and the last 30% is much higher, has more stairs. So at the end of the palace, halfway of the tour, before going to the gardens, we're going to join together both groups again. And then we can reorganize everything. We have two guides who can offer two different options, up to you. Those who want to finish the whole thing, one of the guides will go to the top. Second option, Basically, 70% of the garden, skipping only the stairs at the end, and arriving earlier to the exit. So the orange is not eatable, it's sour. Doesn't make a marmalade with sugar. Valencia, if you go to Valencia, below Barcelona, it's famous for this Valencia orange. That's pure sugar. It's very sweet, so eatable. How can you tell which is which? My grandfather, he was a farmer, very wise man. He told me a trick I will never forget. He told me orange trees with a single leaf, one leaf, is sweet, Valencia orange. Orange tree with two leaves, double leaf, is Seville, sour orange. Oh. An orange tree with three leaves is not an orange. Restoration. You see the colors? Oh, that's original. Because the damage at the very end, a wall at the very end, not called the damage, is also original. So this room practically 70% is stored. But later, I will show you my favorite, the throne chamber. That room is 85% original. It's absolutely impressive. So this room is the oldest, the first they built in the year 1306. So today, this room is more than 700 years old. And at the same time, this is the first contact. Second material, wooden ceilings. And the third is the stucco. The stucco is this technique, they call it from the Romans. They call it estucado in Italian, as we call it in Spanish. This is a combination made of mainly marble dust from colors, from our corrosion, mixed with water, plaster, clay, limestone, and sand. Mixed together, they make like a plaster combination. It was not carved in the wall. It's impossible to make this metal. To make a plaster of metal, they mold it. The plaster molded and stamped. The first color. It looks something good. Please.
So the W that repeats is Allah.
Last year, somebody asked me if this W everywhere was the last white
Kamar's palace served as the official palace of the Sultan and the state, and has a super mirrored pool at its doorstep.
Oh, you mean this is
They're
like
different, yeah.
50% down.
Mine was built later.
50-50. Upside down is exactly the same thing.
Wow.
It's like a mirror.
That's gorgeous.
Best my assistants, as I told you, Camillo Papa. This ceiling is magic. If you take the picture of the ceiling like this, upside down, the selfie, the picture looks like a carpet. Tabletop.
Right.
Detail.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you need my help? Upside down, center, bend it a little bit like this. Welcome. This room is my favorite for two reasons. Number one, the ceiling. The ceiling is the highest, the most beautiful, and the most original in the whole complex. This is almost 19 meters high. And it was made of, has been counted, exactly 8,017 pieces inlaid, one by one, on a wooden surface made of all kind of wood, polycarbonate wood, ivory, silver, mother of pearl, and turquoise shell. To reach that height, we used some technique of Michelangelo in the Egyptian chapel, putting a scaffolding on the back, invading one by one. The ceiling has a double meaning, and in this case is something related to death. As far as I know, when Muslim people die, they believe to reach God, Allah, in the paradise, before they have to go through 7 levels of the Islamic paradise, like our 7 heavens, something similar. If you look carefully, the ceiling is like a dome. In the center, we have an octagon. Around the octagon, you can distinguish 4 stars, like sparks shining. If you join them, you can create a square or a circle. A bit bigger, another circle. A bit bigger, another circle. In total, there are 7 rings. So 7 levels of the Islamic path. And the second reason, this was my favorite, is the wall itself. Here, nothing is missing. And you can see the colors now much better. 600 years later, the colors still remain: blue, green, red, and yellow.
Palace of Lyons is a court shop housing the Fountain of the Lions, 12 lions carved from marble. Along the rim of the fountain base is an inscribed poem which praises the beauty of the fountain and the
That's
power
on
of
the
the
right
line.
side, to your front position, was the Sultan bedroom, his bedroom, and also belly dancing place. You know belly dancing? It was very good, very good. The doors outside are original. The best.
You can see it.
So this is how the stained glass looked in its original state. What a nice garden. So here's the view. General life is just outside the walls of the East Alhambra. The garden is the approach to the palace.
Remember, all one channel, and I think the whole Alhambra is thematic. I think one channel connects to a baby frog.
Yeah.
Baby frog is there.
Where? Oh, you guys have good eyes. I see now. I see now.
Another one there.
Really big, really tiny. Like
Tiny, tiny.
almost like an insect.
Napoleon troops were here. 1808. And they stayed until the... And Alhambra survived. One more time. But everything was going to be destroyed until alive. It is not general life, it is Generalife. Generalife is not an insurance company, okay, that we have here. Never you have your insurance done. Did you do it? Because no insurance today, okay? Generalife comes from Janat al-Arif. Janat al-Arif, that means the architecture's garden. French name flowers for the beauty and for the
We are in the town of Mijas, right on the coast of the Mediterranean.
So there was pieces of plaited hair all here because they would come here to ask the Virgin for a nice husband. So yes, they took them all away. I think it's because of sanidad, sanity, like they're taking it away. And these rosaries, they are not for sale or anything. There's people that come here praying and they do their rosaries. Yeah. Just around to the right-hand side, you can see some of the, how would I say, when they bring it out on the 8th of September, with the platform, it's all the ornaments and stuff that they have in their hands, you know, with the silver cover and all the beautiful, how would I say, designs that all of them have. There's one there for the incense, and that's what they use when they bring it out on the 8th of September. Actually, she's so special. My mother used to go right to her
So we're having bass that is baked in salt, and the salt is coming off. Having sea bass. That is something.
We'll bring that fish bowl.